Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome again to yet another Toe Way Masterclass Series 2. We had the Series 1 yesterday. It was very impactful. We got a lot of feedback from you, saying you learned a lot, you took the learnings from it, or you're going to take the learnings from it and you're going to actually implement when you're launching your business. So we don't waste a lot of time. I'm just going to introduce everyone on the call again. My name is Ibuko Durindi. I'm the Entrepreneurship Program Manager. And joining us today is Madam Angela Neke. She's going to be taking us through, the Toe Way series again. And we're going to learn a lot of snippets. Just give us a lot of examples and snippets on how we can, take the learnings from this series and implement, or, just take those learnings and then use them wisely as we launch and run our successful businesses. Also joining me is Adora Okoli, who is our Entrepreneurship Programs Executive. And then we have Foko also joining, but I think he has a bit of network issues. He's going to join us as we go along. So I'll just quickly hand over to Madam Angela to just kickstart the session. Please stay tuned, ensure it's engaging. She's going to be asking you to give comments or answer or give responses to the questions she has. Please listen and ensure that you're getting the best from this session. Thank you. Over to you, Madam Angela. Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, bonjour, and thank you, Ibuku, for the introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. Trust you're all well, and thank you for your kind feedback yesterday. I'm looking forward to another engaging session where we'll be taking part 2 of the webinar series on the Toe Way. So let me just share my screen. Hopefully I can do it better than I did yesterday. Can everyone see my screen? I hope so. So
yes, we can.
Okay, great.
Yes, ma'am.
So today's webinar 2, and we're going to be talking about human capital. We're going to be talking about institutionalization and governance, and productivity and execution. So I'm looking forward to the session. So Foko, you're in the room. Do you want to test your mic? Make sure everything's okay. Did you hear what I said? You want to summarize?
Yes, I hear very well what you said.
Do you want to summarize?
I'm listening to you.
Do you want to summarize my intro so that we can be sure your mic's working? Thank you.
Oui, bonjour tout le monde et bienvenue à cette autre session sur le Toe Way. Aujourd'hui, nous allons commencer toujours sur les valeurs, à travailler sur les valeurs d'affaires de Tony. Donc, nous sommes à la série 2. Une fois de plus, bonne session et surtout, n'oubliez pas de remplir la fiche de présence. Merci. Over to you, Ma.
Thank you. So we're going, our first set of business values on the Toe Way, we're going to be talking about today, human capital, culture, rewarding performance, and performance management. If you recall, what I said yesterday is, we'll typically give you some quotes from TOE about the particular business value, give you some examples, and also tell you what the literature says business value, and obviously try to get some interaction from everyone. So this is what Thierry has to say about human capital and culture. He says, talents I don't have, I don't regret. I surround myself with people who have them. That's so such a powerful statement that we should all take away with. Talents I don't have, I don't regret. I surround myself with people who have them. He says, leaders don't do it alone. Assemble co-travelers. Identify talent and then help people discover themselves. Everything about achieving results depends on people. One wrong hire and you can deviate from your strategic intent. Have people in the right jobs and ensure there's proper alignment. One of the toughest decisions I make is placing people. Putting round pegs in round holes is critical. People need to be placed in their natural habitat. When I get a hire wrong, I go back to the candidate's file to see where I got it wrong. When hiring, if negotiation with a candidate takes too long, it is best to pass. I mean, I think all this is so very useful for everyone, especially as you're starting your businesses. You know, talent is so key. You know, you can't do it alone, you know, so, and you don't have all the skills for your business. So getting the right talent in place is very important. So, you know, these quotes from TOE are very instructive. He goes on to say that performance management is key. We are a merit-driven organization. Wrong cultural values can kill an organization. Have a culture of excellence and quality. Emphasize quality in everything you do. If you recall, yesterday we talked about how a small business takes on the brand of the entrepreneur, of the founder. It's the same with culture. You know, as you build your business, your organization is going to take on the culture of you, the founders. So it's very important that you lay the right foundation in terms of the culture that you set, that you establish for your businesses. He says, I think first we must know that you are what you are and how you project yourself. Recall I talked about this yesterday, and yesterday was in the context of branding. Today it's in the context of culture. And just to say that processes and the kind of values we uphold, the kind of culture we preach, the way they manifest both inside and outside of who we truly are and who we aspire to be, you know. So these are very important quotes from TOE. So on the literature side, culture, as we all know, is collective values, beliefs, etc. Hire right, make sure we hire the right people into our organization. So conduct structured interviews and include key people. So for instance, you know, maybe you're a technology person, or maybe you're a finance person and you're trying to hire people for sales role. You know, maybe you want to get someone from your marketing, someone that has a marketing perspective. If you're hiring someone for HR, you want to get the HR people involved. So you want to make sure that you have structured interviews and get the right skills involved in your recruitment process. Hire smart, as TOE says, put round pegs in round holes, make sure there's an organizational match, skills match, and job match. Hire wisely, check references, you know, so get references from where the staff you're trying to hire have worked before to get a sense of who they are. And then obviously measure performance. What gets measured gets done. And reward performance. So not just measure it, reward it. And there was an example when STB turned around Crystal Bank. Obviously, you know, Crystal Bank was a distressed bank. So getting customers was pretty difficult. And you know, TOE put rewards in place for customer acquisition. Such rewards included when they signed up Western Union to do the collections for remittances for Western Union. The person who signed up Western Union got a BMW, you know, and then somebody signed up a major customer and got a sports car. You don't want to do that in your small businesses, but this is just to give an example of how you can reward performance. Also, in terms of food for thought, performance is very strategic, according to TOE, for business success. As an entrepreneur, as a business leader, I have found that performance is one of the essential tools for success. As an entrepreneur and a business leader, you start with a vision, you come up with the strategies for executing the vision, you assemble the people who will execute the strategies, then you let the people know what success entails. So it's vision, strategy, people, and then performance criteria. This is so important for you guys, especially at this critical stage of your executing your business plan. It says it's vision, it's strategy, it's people, and then performance criteria. says, if you fail to reward appropriately in the long run, you will not grow a sustainable business. It's like a chain. If you do not reward, people will not deliver. If people do not deliver, there is no business. I have embraced rewarding performance as it is a very important leadership tool for getting things done. So maybe we want to hear from everyone after Foko has done the translation. I'd like to hear from you if you've started your recruiting process and what challenges you've had or how you're going about it. Foko, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Donc aujourd'hui, nous allons commencer par des valeurs liées au capital humain, à la culture, à la récompense de la performance et aussi à la performance dans la gestion. Donc, pour cela, nous allons commencer par quelques citations de Tony. Tony nous dit, le talent, je n'en ai pas, mais je ne regrette pas. Par contre, je m'entoure des personnes qui ont des talents. Donc ça, vous devez bien comprendre. Ce n'est pas forcément vous qui devez avoir du talent, mais vous devez vous entourer des personnes qui ont les compétences nécessaires pour faire avancer votre vision. Et il dit, les leaders ne le font pas seuls. Ils réunissent autour d'eux d'autres personnes avec qui ils vont faire l'aventure. Il est donc important d'identifier ses talents et ça aide à chaque personne de se découvrir lui-même. Tout est fonction du résultat et ce résultat dépend des personnes que nous allons impliquer dans la démarche qu'on est en train d'adopter. Il dit généralement, quand un recrutement ne marche pas, il essaie de regarder sur le plan stratégique ce qui n'a pas marché. Pourquoi on n'ait pas eu la bonne personne ou bien pourquoi on n'ait pas réussi à convaincre ou aligner la personne sur les valeurs de l'entreprise. Donc, je ne vais pas tout lire. Autre chose qu'il nous dit, il dit la performance dans le management, c'est la clé. Et le mérite, et c'est à partir du mérite qu'on peut conduire une organisation à la réussite. La mauvaise culture d'entreprise, c'est ça qui tue en réalité les entreprises. Et avoir une excellente culture d'entreprise, et une bonne qualité, c'est ce quoi il faut s'appuyer sur tout ce que l'on fait. Donc, pour finir, on a pris l'exemple de comment, en termes de récompense des personnes avec qui on travaille, on a pris l'exemple de BMW et je crois de Express Union. Et la dernière parole que je peux partager concernant ce point, c'est le fait que la performance est très stratégique pour la réussite d'une affaire. Un entrepreneur, en tant qu'entrepreneur et en tant que leader d'affaires, il faut pouvoir trouver des performances qui sont essentielles comme outils de succès. En tant qu'entrepreneur ou en tant que leader d'affaires, tout commence par la vision. Et après la vision, on met en place des stratégies pour exécuter cette vision. Et pour cela, on met ensemble les hommes qui vont permettre d'exécuter ces stratégies. Et c'est avec donc ces personnes qu'on aboutit au succès. Ainsi, il s'agit de quoi? 1, la vision. 2, la stratégie. 3, les hommes. Et enfin, les critères de performance. C'est important d'avoir des critères de performance. Et il dit pour finir que si vous échouez dans la façon de rémunérer les personnes qui vous entourent, c'est que votre entreprise ne peut pas être durable. C'est comme sur une chaîne. Et il est important que chaque acteur, chaque intervenant ait une récompense conséquente pour son business. Donc, voilà où je vais m'arrêter pour ce point. Over to you. Et bien sûr, vous pouvez déjà faire vos commentaires. On va les lire, s'il vous plaît. N'hésitez pas à écrire vos commentaires dans le chat box de YouTube. Merci. Over to you.
Thank you. So can we have some feedback on this? And I'd also like to add, yesterday we talked about how a societal challenge, TOE's quote, the societal challenge can create business opportunities. And we talked about the societal challenge of COVID and the business opportunities it presented for everyone. So I'd like to hear on the human capital side, how the societal challenge of COVID has created opportunities for your businesses.
Okay, all right, thank you, Ma. So we have some comments here. So from King Oge, I'm about to embark on a hiring spree. The only challenge I have right now is finances. I took the step to start up my business plan after registering for the program with the little resources I had. So he said he's just about to start. He's just trying to get his finances together. So someone here is saying, my greatest challenge was to employ a relative whom I can't evaluate objectively without drawing emotions from the rest of the family. So this is from Aslam. So another comment here is from Peter. Peter said, I have started my recruitment process. Getting the right fit is difficult for a small business. It's usually challenging to get quality staff because of the cost. So in brackets, salaries and benefits. Then I have another person, Joshua. Joshua said, I started my recruitment process and leveraged on a team that has undergone the TEF training because it is online. With what I'm positioning to do, this will move the product I have over 10 TF teams. So I think what he's saying now is trying to hire people that have gone through our program, so they have some level of expertise and skill sets. Somebody here also is saying, one of my challenge recruiting is that many are not willing to stay at the early stage of the business. So it's a small business it's a startup. Then we have Ray Entertainment. Yes, we started recruiting at Elmvios Holdings. Challenges have been finances in the beginning, but we've started partnering with people with the most important skill sets for the business. Another person here, Alabo Emanuela, I had started the hiring process, and the challenge I faced was hiring a family member who never bought my vision of the business. Then there's another person, Tabaro. I have 4 employees, and not until now, 10 of them have already been fired. I can now make out that they could not deliver as I am a manager, and I was not rewarding them as they expected. Then DK Uzo saying, first hires is quite difficult for me. Keeping the balance between competence and compensation is a problem. Those who take smaller pay will give you lower performance. Again, this is tied to finances. I currently run my business by myself, but I am learning a lot from you about strategies to have in place when hiring and keeping a loyal staff. Mary Aworoso says, one of the challenges in the struggle to manage my business is remote employee productivity and performance. Then the last person, Marie Claire, recruiting needs so much knowledge and assessment. I had employed people who do not love what they do, but love money. So in order to get the right employees you need, I had to identify the ones that are capable of doing the job right. And then another comment just came in, said reward is very important as it is a viable way for improving job satisfaction among staff. So those are the comments we've gotten from, and a lot more are still coming in there typing.
Very, very good comments. I think very good comments. Two people talked about hiring relatives.
Yes.
So very interesting. So you must hold your relatives to the same account as you would hold someone that is not your relative. So which I think both of you have commented on. Just because someone is your relative doesn't mean they shouldn't meet your minimum standards. So it was nice to see that, and it's nice to see that all of you are focusing on rewards and appreciating the importance of rewards. And you just basically have to be resilient as you go along, because people will leave as you begin to build your brand. So I remember one of the statements, and you probably hear that later, is when TOE, when they first started the Standard Trust Bank, people didn't believe in them. And it says, we're going to write a generational statement that though people don't believe in us today, I'm summarizing, though people don't believe in us today, by our achievements, will compel them to believe in us. So as you begin to achieve success, people will you will build your brand. And as you build your brand, you will, you'll be able to recruit higher quality staff and, reward, because your financial performance will also be increasing. So just wanted to encourage us to hang on in there as we go along. Foko, any feedback from you?
Okay, what I can do is just translate what Ibukun said and also summarize what you said. Okay. Donc, nous avons eu des retours de personnes qui disent qu'ils ont des challenges sur le financement. On a eu le retour de l'un des entrepreneurs qui dit qu'il a été impressionné parce qu'il avait beaucoup de problèmes de recrutement et il a eu à faire suivre le programme de Tony, dans le programme TF, par certaines personnes avec qui il travaille, et le résultat est meilleur. C'est-à-dire, recommander aux personnes avec qui vous travaillez de suivre la formation, parce que cette formation est solide et leur permet de mieux comprendre votre vision, bref, que vous ayez une vision d'ensemble. On a aussi parlé des challenges qu'on a ou des défis qu'on a lorsqu'on recrute les personnes de la famille. Ce que Mme Angela a conseillé, c'est que généralement, quand on recrute quelqu'un de la famille, il faut le considérer comme s'il n'était pas de la famille. Donc, il n'y a pas de deux poids, deux mesures, non. Que la personne soit de la famille ou pas, vous devez avoir les mêmes considérations. C'est ça qui peut vous permettre d'aller à la performance. Donc, on a aussi partagé l'expérience toujours de Standard Trust Bank, où les gens ne croyaient pas beaucoup à ce que Tony disait, mais finalement, l'histoire a donné raison à sa façon de faire que les choses puissent changer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Foko. So moving on, the next set of business values we're going to be looking at institutionalization and governance. And what Thierry has to say about that is, he says you need the operating software that will make the system work in a certain manner. Looking back, I find that a certain work ethic, a certain way that I do business has contributed to my achievements. I would like these business values institutionalized for posterity. So learning the TOE way, how TOE has accomplished success, how he's been able to achieve all the things we talked about yesterday. There's a certain way that he does business, and, that can help you as you pursue your entrepreneurial vision. And, the operating software is all we're talking about, the institutionalization and governance. Thierry goes on to say, you must institutionalize, build to last, have a mindset of, I'm in this business forever. I want this business to be intergenerational. Put structures in place to institutionalize. Businesses hardly go beyond a generation in Africa. Most businesses in Africa don't last beyond the founder. This is not good. We need to think legacy, think sustainability, think how to institutionalize. If we think like this, we build to last. 100 years from now, I want this institution to be one that has achieved great success because it was built to last. We've heard Thierry say at some of the TF convenings that what would define success for this entrepreneurship program for him is that when he's 80 years old and he gave an example of if he goes to Zambia when he's 80 years old and he sees an entrepreneur that started a bank and the entrepreneur says to him, oh, he started the bank with seed funding that came from the Tony Elumelu entrepreneurship program, and that would define success for him. So, building to last, institutionalization, these are all key to entrepreneurship journey. We can't give up. We must build to last. You know, we have to, like he says, have a mindset of we're in this business forever. So to build to last, we must have strong corporate governance. Without strong corporate governance, you cannot build to last. Governance is key to succession planning. Okay. And to give an example, and to use the Transco example, when Hess Holdings made a strategic investment in Transco in 2011, and then on to acquire the Transco Ughelli power plant in 2013. At the time in 2011, Transco had not produced annual accounts for years. They had unreconciled shares, 99 court cases. They'd never paid a dividend. What did Hess Holdings do? They created internal awareness on governance and internal mobilization, you know, and internal cohesion. They arranged corporate governance sessions organized for all the directors of Transco and its subsidiaries. The Securities and Exchange Commission and the Nigerian Stock Exchange were invited to give talks on, you know, how to build a compliant organization. Corporate governance charters were developed with zero tolerance for non-compliance leadership from the top that set the tone. Annual reports were produced and AGMs were held. The first dividend was paid in 2014. In 2014, Nigerian Stock Exchange awarded Transco the most compliant company on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Also recently, Transco was celebrated because after 10 years, I talked about the acquisition of the Ughelli power plant in 2013. They were the ones that, you know, were able to meet the government's hurdles, the government's milestones for organizations that have been privatized. So they were the first to be able to accomplish that. So these are really laudable achievements that we should all emulate. So this is something that one is very proud of it, you know, in terms of what the Transco Group has achieved. So in summary, we must build to last. And Thierry says, if you have the best policies, so, you know, put all your corporate governance frameworks in place, put your policies in place, have an HR policy, have, you know, an accounting policy, have all your policies in place, and you do not have the right CEO, who at the end of the day is the chief custodian, to enforce all these policies that you've developed, then it will not work. So he's saying policy is necessary, but it's not a sufficient condition. So we should note that as we go along. So Foko, over to you.
Thank you very much. Donc, la prochaine valeur d'affaires qu'on va voir, c'est l'institutionnalisation et la gouvernance d'entreprise. Donc, Tenu nous dit, nous avons besoin d'un système d'exploitation pour pouvoir faire un système qui marche d'une certaine manière. Quand il regarde dans le passé, il voit qu'il a eu une certaine éthique de travail. Et c'est cette façon de faire dans les affaires qui a constitué ses accomplissements à la date d'aujourd'hui. Et il voit donc qu'il est important d'institutionnaliser toutes ces valeurs d'affaires pour la postérité. Il dit on doit pouvoir institutionnaliser pour construire dans la durée et avoir un mindset ou bien une façon de penser, une attitude conséquente dans les affaires. Si on veut que le business, les affaires traversent, soient intergénérationnelles, il faut véritablement mettre en place des structures institutionnalisées. Et le business doit pouvoir être solide et pouvoir traverser des générations. C'est ce qu'il faut faire en fait pour l'Afrique. Parce qu'on se rend compte que généralement, quand un fondateur ou un chef d'entreprise, un créateur meurt, l'entreprise meurt aussi. Et pour cela, on a besoin d'avoir des sens de l'héritage, d'avoir des sens de la durabilité, d'avoir les sens de l'institutionnalisation. Et c'est ça qui permet de construire une affaire qui va mettre long, de construire une affaire dans la durée. Il dit des années, des centaines d'années en arrière, if you want this, s'il veut que cette institution permettez 100 years from now, I want this. OK, il dit, il voudrait que dans une centaine d'années, que tout ce qu'il est en train de faire maintenant puisse être, que le succès qu'il y aura dans le futur puisse être la conséquence du fait qu'aujourd'hui, on a construit pour que cela puisse durer. C'est signé Tony Elumelu. Concernant la gouvernance, il dit, conçu pour que ça dure, est solide pour la gouvernance d'entreprise. Sans une gouvernance d'entreprise solide, une entreprise ne peut pas durer. La clé de la gouvernance, c'est le plan de succession tel qu'on a vu lors de la première section. Non, tel qu'on a vu la semaine passée avec l'un des orateurs. Il faut un plan de succession pour permettre une passation de pouvoir intergénérationnel. Prenons donc un exemple. L'exemple que Tony donne ici, c'est l'exemple de Transcorp. Vous allez voir ce que ce monsieur a pu faire. Donc, il dit, quand il fait un investissement important dans Transcorp en 2011, voici la situation de Transcorp. Transcorp était à presque 10 ans, donc était à plusieurs années sans avoir produit des comptes annuels. Vous imaginez une entreprise qui fonctionne sans faire de bilan. Transcorp n'avait pas une bonne politique de partage des actions. Transcorp avait 99 affaires en justice. Et puis encore, Transcorp n'avait jamais payé les dividendes à ses actionnaires. Donc voilà la situation quand Here Holding achète Transcorp ou bien fait un investissement dans Transcorp en 2011. Alors, avec les travaux de Tony, voici ce que ça a donné. Il a d'abord mis sur place un système de vigilance interne et une bonne gouvernance, ce qui a permis de créer une mobilisation et une cohésion de groupe de tous ceux qui travaillent en interne. Pour cela, donc, il y a eu des sessions, des réunions du conseil d'administration et de la direction, ce qui a permis que Transcorp puisse être introduit en bourse sur invitation de la bourse, et il partait même aussi souvent à la bourse et fait des talks. Deuxième chose, c'est au niveau de la charte de gouvernance. Donc, il a mis en place un système de zéro tolérance et que le leadership doit rentrer dans la maison afin que la performance puisse suivre. Troisième chose, il a produit les comptes annuels de l'entreprise, au point où, en 2014, les actionnaires ont eu droit à leur premier dividende. Ça veut dire 3 ans plus tard, après que Here Holding soit rentré dans le business, les comptes annuels, les actionnaires ont reçu les dividendes. Et cette année, 2014, la bourse locale du Nigeria a récompensé Transcorp comme l'une des meilleures entreprises de la bourse. Je pense que ça, c'est quelque chose que vous devez bien noter et surtout applaudir. Donc, en somme, les amis, créez pour que ça dure. Construisez votre affaire en pensant à sa durabilité. Et pour finir, on dit le plus important, si vous avez de bonnes politiques et qu'on n'a pas le bon directeur général, c'est une chose, c'est vraiment une perte. Pourquoi? Parce que le directeur général est l'homme de terrain. C'est lui qui se bat au quotidien avec un bon travail pour que les choses puissent bien se passer. La politique est nécessaire. Tout ce qui est stratégie, c'est nécessaire, mais ce n'est pas suffisant comme condition pour la réussite. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Foko. Before we go on to the next set of business values, because today's session is shorter than yesterday, I just wanted to find out from everyone, what are the challenges that you face in institutionalization? You know, as you start your business, what are some of the challenges that you face? What are the, some typical examples, for instance, your personal account is the account of the company. Those are some of the typical challenges that startups face. So funds are moved from, the company to your person. You haven't separated, you're not paying yourself a salary, all those kind of examples. Give us examples of some of the challenges that you're facing setting up your business for those of you that have already started.
OK, s'il vous plaît, essayez de mettre en commentaire certains défis que vous avez eus en fonction de ce qu'on vient de voir. Si vous avez peut-être des difficultés à payer des salaires, des difficultés à payer des impôts. Donc, partagez avec nous quelle est votre expérience. Pour ceux qui ont déjà créé l'entreprise, quelle est votre expérience en termes de durée du business en fonction des stratégies que vous mettez en place pour que votre activité soit durable. Nous vous écoutons. Mettez en chat box, nous allons lire. Merci.
Okay, can I go ahead, Ma?
Go ahead, Ibuku.
Okay, all right, Ma. So, and Angel Miriam is saying, my challenge was location and startup space. Edwin Akufo is saying, the challenge I face is having to deal with different cultures and mindset. Ogudimu Omolola is saying, the challenge I face is paying myself salary. Hilda Iyanga says, building confidence with clients is one of the challenges she's facing. Jane Imbewe is saying, governance and setting policies is what I need to work on. It's one of my challenges. Enrio Yetunde, okay, no, Enrio Yetunde is just saying thank you. Arison is saying, registering the business, sourcing for capital, and marketing my products. Janaba says, hard work. Okay, no, hiring an accountant to handle the books is a major concern for my business. Another person here, Sukomi Akindele, says, my challenge is affording some of our processing machines. Glorian Atuya is saying, establishing policies for small organizations due to frequent changes. Emmanuel Okenwa is saying, government policies, lack of capital to start, adoption of clients. Another person is saying, taking in a lot of weight across departments, selling the vision to the new employees. Tanto Murati is saying, one challenge I have when setting up for my business is trying to convince or persuade high-value people or human resource to buy into the vision of the company. Olaomi Adebayo is saying the local government levy, LASA, is one of the problems she's facing with her business. Agent Connect is saying the problem I usually face is to put in place policies that are flexible while ensuring professionalism and creativity in my employees. Happy Bobley is saying the major challenge is price inflation and fluctuations. It's really messing up with my business. Victoria Campbell is saying accounting, paying for goods bought by me. Nancy Mukira is saying getting the right personnel. Rose Fumbi is saying hiring staff that share the same passion as you do. Anita Hill is saying my difficulty is the documentation procedure and the tax procedures. It's really costly. Ugochukwu Agumo is saying staff retention is a major challenge for me. When you need the staff you've trained to help, they leave to start theirs. And then the last person is Okafor Messi. Employing the right person to avoid theft, family reliance on you because of the business. More responsibilities becomes a normal for me. Then one just came in, Royal Music. My biggest problem is getting money to pay my team, which is big, yet I'm just starting. So I generate less to accommodate more. So that's what we have. More comments are still coming, they're still typing.
Yeah, no, these are all very typical comments. Just two things I wanted to say. One is that when you're hiring for a startup, try and look for people who can do more than one thing. So so that you combine roles, and that helps to reduce your staffing needs and your costs. That's one thing we could do. The second thing is also you may want to outsource. You know, there's the accounting softwares today that you can use, and you can even outsource certain roles. You know, yesterday we talked about outsourcing the social media function. You can outsource your accounting function as well. So there's some things that you can do to help reduce your staffing needs and you know, still addressing some of your immediate needs. So, but well done, all of you. You just have to keep at it, and you have to be intentional. Foko?
Okay, thank you. I'm going to share what Ibukun said with Francophone people OK, donc on a demandé quels sont les défis
Sorry,
que vous
folks, do
avez.
you have any feedback from the Francophone as well?
I don't have the feedback from you too. OK, I have some. Let me read, please. OK.
Go on.
There is, OK. We have Gisèle Daliwa. Il existe des entreprises que lorsque le fondateur décède et l'entreprise meurt, comment y remédier à cela? OK, it is a question. And Poteka Anachid, c'est la durée du projet dépend de quoi, s'il vous plaît? It's another question. Espoir Managabe, c'est vrai que Tony est un grand homme et il le sera toujours. Okay, that is some feedback I have in French. They are saying that what is the secret of Tony? Breathing to last is difficult. Then it depends on what? That is one of the questions. And the other is saying that while when the founder died, the enterprise also died. How can we do to correct that? That's a question that I have in French. And I want also to share one of your response. Yes.
Let me, yeah. So share so in terms of what do you do, to build a legacy, this is what we're talking about, institutionalization. So you have to put policies, systems, that operating software that Theo talked about at the beginning in place to make sure that the organization is not just built around you. You have other people, in different roles. You have policies, you have systems that ensure that the organization, so I gave the example of this, the TOE way is an aspect of institutionalization, because what you're doing is TOE is replicating himself by teaching the business values that enabled him to succeed and continues to enable him to succeed. That's part of institutionalization. So that's what we need to do to make sure we build a legacy, and the legacies outlive us. All right. Go on, please, Focus. Sorry for interrupting.
OK, thank you. Donc, quelques réponses. Madame Angela propose que pour pouvoir mettre en place une entreprise durable, il est important, donc, c'est pour ça qu'on vous parle d'institutionnalisation. Ça voudrait dire quoi? Vous devez mettre en place ce qu'on appelle le système d'exploitation de l'entreprise. Et ce système d'exploitation est basé sur les systèmes. C'est ça, vous devez mettre en place un système d'héritage, c'est-à-dire que ce que vous faites, il faudrait que ça puisse perdurer après vous. C'est pour ça qu'on parle justement d'institutionnaliser. Et ce que nous partageons aujourd'hui, qui est le TOE, la façon de faire de Tony, ça rentre justement dans cette institutionnalisation. Tony permet, c'est vrai qu'il partage avec nous, mais il est en train de nous dire justement comment il a fait pour que ces entreprises soient durables après lui. Donc voilà globalement ce qu'on vous demande de faire. Il faut mettre en place des politiques qui permettent que l'entreprise soit sur des fondations solides. OK, over to you.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. So let's go on to the next set of business values, which are hard work leads to productivity, sense of urgency, meeting deadlines, having a can-do spirit, decisiveness, effective meetings, getting things done, being results-driven, and execution. So Thierry's quote, discipline, hard work, sacrifice are what make a successful entrepreneur. Success does not come on a platter. You have to work hard to be successful. You have to be disciplined and you have to make sacrifices. I work very hard and demand no less from people who work with me. So someone earlier on asked the question around, or commented that, they recruit staff and they don't stay because they have a different culture. So one of the things you want to do when you're hiring is you want to find out, so for instance, if you have the same work ethic as TOE, i.e. you work very hard, you want to look for people that work very hard, because those people are going to align with your vision. They're going to align with your culture. and they're going to replicate you as, as you institutionalize. So Theo says, I work very hard and demand no less from people who work with me. So you won't find a situation where Theo is recruiting someone that doesn't work very hard, because, that person will not last in an organization where people work very hard, So I just thought to throw that in. And, yesterday I referred to how Theo spoke to a group of teens over the weekend, and I got this quote from that session. It says, embrace hard work, discipline, and sacrifice. Recall from the previous slide, he says discipline, hard work, sacrifice are what make a successful entrepreneur. So he says this again. So that quote, the quote from the previous slide is from many years ago, but it's interesting. He's consistent in what he believes are his values, what are his values, and how he achieves success. He says, embrace hard work, embrace discipline, and sacrifice. He says, I realized growing up that the way to get to the top is to go the extra mile. Tell yourself that there's no way to get there if you don't work hard. Have the discipline to say no to things that don't serve you, and sacrifice now for future rewards, i.e. delayed gratification. If you work hard and are disciplined, you will get what you desire in life. So Theo is very consistent, in terms of what leads to success: hard work, discipline, sacrifice. And to borrow some, from literature review, I don't know, yesterday I talked about books, reading books. Theo says he reads books. He reads like 2 books a month. So there's a book called Outliers, The True Story of Success by Malcolm Gladwell. And he says, the idea that excellence at performing a complex task requires a critical minimum level of practice surfaces again and again in studies of expertise. In fact, researchers have settled on what they believe is the magic number for true expertise, which is 10,000 hours. If you read the book Outliers, talk about how Bill Gates, the Beatles, he talks about different people and how they've achieved success. And he's talked about true mastery coming from 10,000 hours of practice. It says the emerging picture from such studies, this is in the book Outliers, is that 10,000 hours of practice is required to achieve the level of mastery associated with being a world-class expert in anything. So as we're building our businesses, we need to know that working hard is important. Embrace working hard, embrace, these hours that are spoken about, because it leads to mastery. It leads to true expertise in anything. And, you may all want to read that book. So in summary, it's about hard work, the 10,000 hour rule that Malcolm Gladwell talks about, the magic number for true expertise. And the Bible says, seest thou a man diligent in his work, he will stand before kings. I don't know how many presidents Theo has stood in front of. I mean, I recall, I think 2 months ago or a month ago, he was in front of the King of England. He stood, there was one TOE convening that I think there were 5 African presidents there. So hard work leads to rewards at the end of the day. And, I just thought to throw in this quote, diligence leads to you standing before kings. So also have a sense, another TOE way is having a sense of urgency. And having that sense of urgency is all about working as if your life depends on it. So just work, work very hard and work with urgency. Get things done quickly, excel and it says all businesses and personal goals require hard work and commitment. Those who recognize what is needed to accomplish their goals, stay focused and treat matters urgently tend to excel and accomplish more than others. This is all what the literature is saying about urgency, having a sense of urgency. So it's one of the best ways to meet deadlines. It's just to have that sense of urgency. High achievers and leaders tend to have more of a sense of urgency than most people. Have a can-do spirit. Don't take no for an answer. Tackle any job. You can get things done. A person with a positive, who's positive about their ability to complete any task, an attitude that does not have can't in their language. These are all what the literature says about having a can-do spirit. You're undaunted. You're not undaunted. And TOE talks about being decisive. Leaders must be decisive. Posterity can forgive you for making a wrong decision. Posterity will not forgive you for not making a decision. Everyone deserves a response and on a timely basis. Leaders should give an answer of yes or no within 24 hours. So, and he demands this of people that work with him, it's not also about getting things done. Some people work hard, but, remember what he says, hard work leads to productivity. So it's about getting the right work done, and the literature says to get the right work done, write a list of things that you need to do, write a to-do list. Everybody talks about a to-do list. Put a self-imposed deadline on yourself, start a project on time, manage your energy, etc. So these are some of the tips that come from the literature on getting the right work done, i.e. the hard work that leads to productivity. And, it's impossible from the book, excerpts from the book, Power Vision, Insights on Tony Elumelu, it's impossible to work with TOE without meetings. Meetings are the platform through which his management by consensus style plays out. It is also through meetings that he energizes the organization. Recall that yesterday we learned about management by consensus. We learned that consensus is not 100% agreement. It is broad unanimity. We talked about that yesterday. We gave the example of the flex cube versus Finacle debate. So we're saying meetings, TOE's meetings are a platform through which his management by consensus plays out. So he uses meetings to debate issues, etc. And, what does the literature say about getting things done? Share information, get acceptance of ideas, meetings help to get things done, essentially. Help you make decisions, help you solve problems, help you plan projects, align interests, etc. These are some of the things that meetings do. Empathy is key to a great meeting, is what the literature says. Empathy allows you to read what is going on, and self-management, and helps you move the group to a mood that supports getting things done and happiness. And you adopt different leadership styles in conducting a meeting. But important in meetings is to have an effective meeting. Make sure you have clear objectives. Make sure you invite the right people. Make sure you set an agenda. You set ground rules. You manage interpersonal dynamics. Make sure that there's a follow-up. Select the right location. Take notes. But make sure you do all these, because there's no point having a meeting that's not effective. Make every meeting matter, or don't meet at all. Another thing that TOE does is he uses his meetings as a learning platform. So if someone has just joined the organization, you'll find that he'll ask the person to join a meeting, just to see style, your can understand the culture better, can learn about what's going on in the organization, etc. Own your meeting. So make sure there's a meeting of minds when you have a meeting. There's always going to be disagreement. Make sure you debate things very constructively. Make sure everyone is heard. That minority voice, make sure you get information from everyone, because that minority voice may be the person that will turn the decision around. make sure that you know what the literature says is the best way to get consensus is to make everyone feel that they have a chance to be heard. So make sure that you have that kind of meeting where it's conducive for everyone. Everyone feels that they have a right to be heard. Close with a plan of action. Who does what when? You know, that's what the literature says. And you know, assign action items, you know, and make sure you follow up on those action items. Before we go into execution, I'd like FOCO to translate what I have said thus far. And I'd also like for us to talk about, yesterday, remember we talked about in very different aspects, how borrowing from Tioi's quote about how societal challenges create business opportunities. And we all talked about how the societal challenge of COVID had created different business opportunities. And you guys, we found that technology was the common thread. Technology was a common thread across. So meetings have changed since COVID. You know, that, you know, we all hold virtual meetings. This meeting that is happening now is virtual. This discussion is virtual. So I'd like you, as you give feedback and FOCO does the translation, think about how has COVID changed the way I meet? And how, you know, how have meetings changed in my organization? How am I using virtual meetings to make myself more effective, to make my organization more productive? So let's hear from you guys on that. FOCO, over to you.
OK, thank you very much. Donc, avant de commencer la traduction, notez, essayez de partager vos retours et vos feedbacks, commentaires sur la façon dont, depuis la COVID-19, vos réunions ont changé, comme cette réunion que je suis en train de faire, ce masterclass qui est virtuel. Donc, dites-nous, s'il vous plaît, comment est-ce qu'au sein de votre entreprise, la COVID-19 a permis que votre façon de travailler change, même à travers les réunions. Donc, faites-nous vos commentaires et tout à l'heure, je vais les lire. OK. Donc, le point où nous sommes maintenant, nous allons parler d'un certain nombre de points très importants, comme le travail, la dureté dans le travail, donc savoir travailler avec ardeur dans la productivité, le sens de l'urgence, les délais dans les réunions, l'esprit de je peux, l'esprit de la décision et les réunions efficaces. Donc, les réunions efficaces, voir les choses être faites, dirigées à travers les résultats et l'exécution. Donc, je partage en détail chaque point. Le travail dur est important pour la productivité, la discipline, le dur travail, le sacrifice, c'est ça qui met c'est ça qui donne le succès à un entrepreneur. Le succès n'est jamais servi sur un plateau, ça vous devez le savoir. Nous devons travailler très ardemment pour aboutir au succès. Et pour cela, nous devons avoir de la discipline et surtout un sens du sacrifice. Donc, généralement, Tony dit, moi, je travaille très ardemment. Et généralement, je ne demande pas moins à ceux qui travaillent avec moi. Donc, ça veut dire que si vous devez travailler avec Tony, vous devez être quelqu'un qui est solide dans le travail. Il vous prévient déjà. OK. Deuxième chose qu'on nous dit, c'est d'embrasser le travail avec ardeur, la discipline et le sacrifice. Donc, Tony dit, il a constaté en grandissant que dans sa façon de faire, tell yourself that there is no way to get to it. Donc, il dit, dans sa façon de faire, il a fini par comprendre que, et il se dit ça à lui-même, que la seule façon de réussir, c'est de travailler très ardemment, de travailler avec ardeur. Et pour ça, il faut avoir la discipline de dire des choses et surtout de travailler avec sacrifice en espérant être rémunéré dans le futur. Donc, je répète bien, il faut avoir la discipline du travail avec sacrifice parce qu'on espère qu'on sera payé dans le futur. Voilà comment on met en place une vision. Si vous travaillez avec ardeur et avec discipline, c'est que vous aurez tout ce que vous voulez dans votre vie. Voilà ce que Tony dit par rapport au travail dur. Nous allons maintenant partager l'expérience d'un livre. C'est un livre qui donne certaines valeurs et on dit c'est la vraie histoire du succès. Donc, dans ce livre, on nous parle de 10 heures de travail. Donc, Tony démontre d'une manière ou d'une autre que quand vous faites 10 heures de travail, quel que soit le domaine, vous devenez un expert. C'est ça, en fait. On appelle ça la magie du nombre qui fait de vous un vrai expert. Quel que soit le sujet, lorsque vous allez travailler dessus pendant 10 heures de temps, pendant 10 000 heures, pendant 10 000 heures, vous devenez un expert, quel que soit le sujet. Et dans le livre, on prend des exemples. C'est un livre que vous devez lire. Là, il cite la page 61 et la page 62 pour dire travailler ardemment, rester sur la même chose. On prend l'exemple des basketteurs. Il prend même l'exemple, elle a pris l'exemple des présidents de la République dans le monde. Vous allez voir que Tony rencontre énormément d'hommes politiques. C'est le King, le prince Charles, qui est aujourd'hui le roi d'Angleterre. Et ce jour-là, il était en même temps avec environ 5 présidents dans le monde. Donc, c'est pour dire que tellement il le fait que pour finir, ça lui donnera bien sûr une certaine expertise. Donc, c'est ce qu'on doit retenir de ce livre qui dit la règle des 10 000 heures, qui est liée au travail ardu et surtout la diligence. Maintenant, pour ce qui concerne le sens de l'urgence et les réunions avec délai, il dit généralement, vous devez avoir l'attitude que lorsqu'une idée vous vient, vous devez gérer ça tout de suite et mettre un timing. Ça, c'est important. C'est une rigueur personnelle que vous devez avoir. Vous devez toujours être déterminé et être concentré sur le résultat et mettre les délais sur les tâches qu'on doit faire. N'oubliez jamais ça. Toute chose qu'on doit faire, on doit y mettre des délais. Et on verra plus tard avec la to-do list. Donc, ce sens de l'urgence permet que vous ayez de la signification, des bénéfices, de la considération et en retour, bien évidemment, il y a des effets qui sont importants à mettre au devant dans ce que nous avons appelé le sens de l'urgence. Vous devez aussi avoir l'esprit de « je peux le faire ». I can do it. Je peux le faire. Et justement, pour avoir cet esprit, il y a beaucoup de confiance que vous devez avoir envers vous-même vis-à-vis des défis. Vous devez avoir l'attitude, la façon de faire de « je peux le faire ». Et ça permet que vous soyez une personne très positive et que vous ayez la capacité de faire toute tâche qui se place devant vous, vous pouvez le faire. Dès lors que vous restez positif et que vous croyez que vous pouvez faire cette tâche-là. Cette attitude vous donne donc le droit de dire « je peux » dans tout ce que vous faites. Et vous devez croire en cela pour toute chose. Et pour le faire, fixez-vous des objectifs. Vous verrez que vous allez atteindre ces objectifs-là. Et vous devez être une personne qui refuse les défaites. Avoir confiance en vos capacités et d'accomplir. C'est pour ça qu'on vous donne aujourd'hui les règles pour pouvoir faire tout ce qu'on est en train de vous dire. Quand vous dites « je peux le faire » et que vous faites des réunions efficaces et que vous avez des listes des choses à faire, que vous cochez au fur et à mesure, c'est ça qui vous donne toutes ces règles qu'on est en train de vous montrer aujourd'hui. Pour ce qui est du sens de la décision, il dit les leaders sont des gens très décisifs. Vous devez être très décisif. La postérité n'oublie pas tout ce qu'on fait. Non, là, on dit la postérité peut oublier ce qu'on fait avec une mauvaise décision. Mais ça n'oubliera pas ce qu'on a fait avec de bonnes décisions. Non, c'est pas ça. Posterity can forgive you for making a wrong decision. OK, on dit, OK, la postérité peut vous oublier si vous avez fait la mauvaise décision. But posterity will not forgive you for not making a decision. Mais la postérité ne vous oubliera pas si vous n'avez pris aucune décision. Donc, comme quoi, en fait, prenez des décisions. C'est ça, c'est ce qu'on va vous enseigner. Prenez des décisions, soyez décisifs. Assumez ce que vous faites. Tout le monde peut donner une réponse, mais à la fin, c'est le temps qui compte. Donc, et Tony dit, pour finir la décision, chaque leader doit être capable en 24 heures de dire oui ou non. Vous devez donc être responsable. On vous donne le sens de la responsabilité dans ce que vous faites. Et pour ce qui concerne maintenant la manière de voir les choses être faites, la bonne manière de voir les choses être faites. Pour ça, comme je l'ai déjà dit, vous devez avoir ce qu'on appelle les to-do list. Donc, vous devez avoir la liste des choses à faire, un peu comme sur les stickers. Vous notez des choses à faire. Et on dit généralement, les personnes très occupées ont deux attitudes ou bien deux options. Réagir sur les choses urgentes ou être proactif sur les choses importantes. Et c'est une peau d'être là. Donc, on dit globalement, vous devez avoir la rigueur de mettre les délais sur ce que vous faites, de toujours commencer. Commencer et mettre des délais. Ça permet que vous sentiez que c'est facile. Et comment donc commencer des projets à temps? Commencez-les tout de suite après y avoir pensé. Un peu de préparation pour chaque nouveau projet et après, on met sur la machine. Tout ça demande bien sûr de l'énergie physique, émotionnelle, mentale, spirituelle. Et pour ce qui concerne maintenant les réunions efficaces, comme on vous l'a dit, vous allez aussi le remarquer, Tony aime les réunions. Tony aime les réunions. Quand vous arrivez dans son système, vous vous rendez compte qu'il fait beaucoup de réunions. Et ces réunions, par conséquent, doivent être efficaces. Ça permet de mieux canaliser les énergies de l'organisation, de votre entreprise. Parce que si une réunion n'est pas efficace, c'est du temps perdu. Maintenant, comment faire pour avoir les choses être faites pendant une réunion efficace? Il faut partager l'information. Il faut accepter les idées venant de partout. On doit tenir compte des idées de tout le monde, écouter tout le monde. Il faut résoudre les problèmes. Il faut planifier les projets, revoir les performances, prendre des décisions et toujours s'arranger qu'on a tenu compte des avis et des intérêts de tout le monde pendant qu'on fait une réunion. Le leadership, c'est ça qui permet d'avoir de meilleurs résultats dans le leadership. Et quelle que soit la forme de commandement que vous allez mettre en place, tenez compte de ce que tout le monde pense. C'est ce qu'on va aussi appeler, c'est ce qu'on va aussi dire, le leadership est situationnel. Vous devez adopter les formes de commandement en fonction des situations. Ça peut être que vous êtes en train de coacher la personne qui est votre interlocuteur ou votre public. Ça peut être que vous laissez que les choses se fassent de façon démocratique. Ça peut être que vous haussez le ton. C'est-à-dire que vous soyez dictateur quand il le faut, parce qu'on veut que le résultat soit atteint. À la fin, on donne un guide, je ne vais pas le lire, un guide de comment faire pour qu'une réunion soit vraiment efficace. Il y a tout un ensemble d'astuces qu'on partage avec des tableaux qui permettent de partager comment est-ce qu'une réunion peut être efficace. Donc, je pense que je vais m'arrêter là-bas et je passe la parole pour la suite. La suite, ça sera l'exécution. Thank you. Over to you. J'espère que vous avez fait vos commentaires. On va les lire. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, Ibuko, any feedback from the questions that I asked around how COVID had changed the way we conduct meetings and the whole emergence of virtual meetings?
Yes, Ma, Adora here. So we got comments from Joseph Fashion. She said virtual meeting has helped and is still helping in connecting with students worldwide in our fashion academy. Then we also have another comment from Tangwa Ronald. He said, I have farmers in very remote villages that I work with. We must meet in WhatsApp group calls. I as well meet with shop owners who sell my products on Google Meets. Another person has also said, from Dan Kayeye, he said, since COVID-19, I have started working with people from another state, from another country, because I have learned the efficiency of online meeting as well as online recruitment. Then Chukunonso Neze said, since COVID, tech has been the choice of businesses and organizations. Most businesses and individuals no longer see the need to travel long distances and bother people for the purpose of meetings. Christiana Ezekiel said, virtual meeting for me remains the best. It saves me transportation costs as well as we discuss all our activities online. We do only delivery using agents, so virtual meetings for me is more effective. Gitsuku stated that after COVID, most business meetings are virtual, and this has led me to use delivery systems to receive raw materials, and payments are made easier using mobile money wallets. Tabaro stated, COVID-19 attracted a large number of employees to e-platforms, where apart from easily accessible meetings, which do not require displacement efforts, it also creates an avenue to brief and debrief employees. So, and we got another comment from Ruth Oluchi George. During COVID, we stopped the physical meeting in church as a result of social distancing. This has prompted us to start WhatsApp group meetings where we discuss same things we discussed physically. We also have another one from Maviel. From Praise Maviel. I worked in a bank during the COVID era and it made a lot of jobs redundant. Seeing job roles can be done from home. And also I got absorbed into other departments that provided new opportunities. Nkechi mentioned that COVID-19 has made meetings change a lot. People conduct online interviews by Zoom, WhatsApp video calls. There's also Google Meet online class, and they also use the Slack app and even Telegram to have meetings. So Majumi, can I continue with the comments, or are these okay?
No, I just wanted to get a sense, and I really like the fact that they're very broad applications of the virtual meetings, and especially in terms of extending their geographies, etc. So that's very good. I don't know if Foucault has anything to add to what you've said. So very good feedback. Foucault?
Okay, I have, yes, I want to share just one feedback because other people are just complaining or asking for questions. They are not giving the feedback. Okay.
What are the questions? When you say what are the questions they're asking? Maybe you want to give some of the questions so that we can, or we can take them at the end. We can take them at the end. Okay. We can take them at the end when we finish. But
okay.
Feedback on virtual meetings will be good.
Yes, I want to read the feedback on virtual meeting. Okay. Okay, it is from Moïse Nelson Muzembe. Les réunions sont très importantes pendant la période de COVID. Il fallait adapter et avoir des produits digitaux pour atteindre une grande cible. That is what said Moïse Mazembe. We also have Kevin Anthony, who say, oui, effectivement, les réunions faites urgentes doivent avoir l'avis de tous les participants afin que les décisions soient prises de façon efficace. Okay, it is a feedback on effective meeting. That is what I have from this side. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So on that note, let's just move quickly to the next, which is really the final 3 slides, which is about execution. I mean, we all know that the whole idea of hard work leads to productivity at the end of the day should translate to execution. And the literature says execution, the carrying out of a plan, order, or course of action. So you guys have come up with your business plans, or you're coming up with your business plans. It is important to execute. Remember, one of the quotes from TOE yesterday was think and do, think and execute in a timely manner. As execution is about getting things done. We've talked about getting things done and getting things done on time, getting things done urgently, having a sense of urgency. Execution, decisions and activities you undertake in order to turn your implemented strategy into commercial success. So you've come up with your business plan, you're executing, at the end of the day, implement your strategy. You've come up with your strategy, remember it's vision strategy, so your strategy must translate to commercial success. To achieve execution excellence is to realize the best possible results a strategy and its implementation will allow. Strategy, implementation, and execution involve thinking and doing. Remember, this is exactly what Thierry said when the quote I gave yesterday. Thinking and doing, deciding and acting, planning and producing. So how do you go about executing your strategy? Set clear priorities, collect and analyze data, monitor your key performance indicators, set your key performance indicators and monitor them. Keep a rhythm to meetings. Again, meetings are so important. So meet to discuss, debate, agree some of the your line of actions, continuous communication, and you have to evaluate your strategy. And Thierry's food for thought on the whole, on execution. It's about action at the speed of thought. Execution is the art of getting things done. So remember, it's all about getting things done. Execution is about discipline. Again, he comes up with discipline. Focus on outcomes. Thierry goes on to say a bit of planning in the form of these questions are some tips on execution. First, you need to ask yourself, what am I supposed to do? Then, is there clarity? Do I understand what I'm supposed to do? What resources do I need to do it? In what time frame am I required to get this done? I don't reward efforts, I reward accomplishment. I reward people who accomplish results. And I believe that people must work hard. It's not either or for me, you have to do both, the genius of and. So that's the last slide for today. And I want to thank you for this session again, very interactive. And your feedback has been very, very useful and reinforces the learning. So Foko, if you'd like to translate, and then we can take questions. Thank you.
OK, thank you very much. Donc, nous allons finir avec le point sur l'exécution. On dit l'exécution, c'est appliquer, mettre en œuvre un plan, un ordre, et surtout un plan d'action. Ça, c'est l'exécution. L'exécution, c'est le sens de voir les choses être faites. Et ça, on vous l'a dit depuis hier, que lorsqu'on a une idée, on passe à l'application. On la met en œuvre. Donc, de façon littérale, l'exécution, ce sont les décisions et les activités à faire dans le but de mettre en œuvre la stratégie pour un succès commercial. Voilà, de façon littérale, la définition de l'exécution. Maintenant, pour accomplir une excellente exécution, il est important de réaliser les meilleurs résultats possibles avec la stratégie de mise en œuvre. Et cette stratégie d'exécution et de mise en œuvre implique que vous devez penser et faire. Vous devez décider et acter. Enfin, vous devez planifier et produire. Donc, voilà quelques points sur les décisions. Et on vous dit aussi, comme stratégie d'exécution, c'est avoir des priorités claires, savoir collecter les données et les analyser, garder un certain rythme de réunion et surtout évaluer la stratégie. Donc, quelques pensées pour qu'on assimile bien tout ce qui a été dit. Vous devez passer à l'action à la vitesse de vos pensées. Donc, ne laissez pas les choses traîner. L'exécution, c'est l'art de voir les choses être faites. L'exécution, c'est une question de discipline. Et pour cela, vous devez être concentré sur les résultats. Il vous faut un minimum de sens de la planification. Et ce sont autant d'astuces pour l'exécution. Pour cela, vous devez premièrement vous demander à vous-même ce que vous êtes censé faire et ensuite éclairer, donc clarifier ce que vous êtes censé faire. Est-ce que ce que je suis censé faire est suffisamment clair pour moi-même? Et vous devez donc le faire et bien le faire. Et pour cela, déterminer quelles sont les ressources dont vous avez besoin pour le faire. Pour finir, Tony dit que généralement, il ne récompense pas l'effort, mais il récompense les résultats. Il récompense ceux qui ont le sens du résultat et il croit que ces personnes doivent avoir le sens d'un travail ardu. It is not either or for me, you have to do both. Donc, OK. Donc, que ce soit lui ou les gens avec qui il travaille, chacun doit être un bon travailleur, quelqu'un qui travaille avec âme. Et c'est ça qu'on a appelé. Donc, il a dit c'est lui et les autres. C'est ça qu'on a appelé le génie du et. C'est aussi l'une des leçons qu'il donne pendant ces Toe Way. Merci beaucoup. On passe au feedback. Thank you. Over to you.
Okay, everyone. So please send in your questions. Thank you so much, Foko. Thank you, Ma. We have this one question that's been recurring. So can I go ahead to ask Ma?
Go ahead, please.
Okay, this question is from Abdul Latif Adeyemi. He said, I have a question regarding meetings. I recently read that Elon Musk's style of work is reducing meetings to the minimum while breeding a sense of responsibility among staff. Can this be emulated?
As I'm not Elon Musk, I don't know. A TOE Ways meetings. So, and it has led to his achievements. It is his way of doing business. It's one of his ways, and success, you know, I mean, I talked about meetings earlier on today, all the quotes. I've been privy to be part of his meetings. I've learned a lot. I know that we've debated and come up with decisions that have moved organizations forward at meetings. So I think meetings are very important, but the meetings have to be effective, which is the point that we were making earlier, and all the literature review that one provided you. Meetings have to be effective. Obviously, Elon Musk has his style, and it works for him, but meetings have tremendous benefits, and we just have to make our meetings effective. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. Foko, can you go ahead to translate or drop the question that the French entrepreneurs participants have sent?
Okay, they are asking for question, just question. I have, okay, also rewarding us. For example, vous êtes vraiment formidable, l'équipe de TEF. That the teams of TEF is formidable. I have a question. Okay, then can I read question that I have from this chat box?
Yes, please go ahead.
Ok, sur quel onglet sur le site doit-on envoyer le business plan et le plan financier? Okay, someone is asking where are they going to send business plan and the financial. The order is that thank you for. Non, merci beaucoup pour l'apprentissage. That's what is said.
Foko,
Okay.
are there questions
Yes.
for the TEF? If there are questions for TEF, or are they for the TOE way? Because this question you just asked now is for TEF.
Okay, all the questions are for TEF, not for this session.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I say they are complaining. It's not question for this session.
Okay, so I'd like to ask Ibukun. Is Ibukun here, or is it just Adora?
It's just Adora. Ibukun jumped on another meeting. Okay, she just got in.
Adora, you may want to note the comments, the questions, and take these. I don't know whether you want to have a session with them, with the entrepreneurs, because I'm not able to respond to these. I thought there were questions on the TOE way. So if they're complaining, like Foucault is saying, you need to have a session with them to address the questions.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Ma. So the questions, we've been having comments, basically, not really questions. So they've been saying, thank you so much, Ma, for this insightful session. Well done, TEF team. Thank you so much, Madam Angela. This is a very informative, helpful, and exciting session. It was also a very calm and soothing session. This was from Rosie Peters. Scholastica said, I think meetings are a very important part of your business. This will help me in timely evaluation and decisive and decision making. Divine Michael also said, thank you so much, Madam Angela. This is another eye-opening session for me today. Many thanks. And we've been getting comments like that. TOE says, hard work brings productivity, and I'm going to imbibe that. This is from Taiwo Abiodun. Thank you so much, Madam Angela. Thank you to Nadia and to Fopo from Chidong Core. So basically, thank you so much. And the comments are basically thanks and appreciation to you, Ma, for this very insightful session. Fopo, do you want to translate what I've said? Can you go ahead?
Ok, oui. Donc là, nous avons plus de questions concernant le TF, le programme et non les questions concernant cette session. Donc, par contre, Adawa vient de lire, ce sont les merci. Les gens disent merci, merci pour la session, on est formidable et ainsi de suite. Donc, Madame Angela a proposé à la Fondation de faire une session où on va pouvoir répondre à vos questions parce que vous ne posez que des questions sur le programme. OK, Adawa is good.
Okay. So on that note, we'll draw the session to a close and look forward to next week where we have 2 more webinars. And I'm looking forward to it. And I believe it's a 2-way learning session. I learn from you, you learn from me. And we all learn from TOE. Thanks. All right then. Have a good afternoon, everyone.
OK, merci et au revoir tout le monde à la semaine prochaine pour les 2 autres sessions, les 2 autres séries. Merci beaucoup. Bonne journée. N'oubliez pas de remplir la fiche de présence, s'il vous plaît.
Thank you so much, everyone. Do have a great day, and we'll see you at the next webinar. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.